Alright guys, welcome in. This is a brief video on the actual performance on Turo for the vehicle that I just put on in late May of this year. So this information that I'm going to pretty much give out to you guys is information that I wish I would have had before I entered the platform. So I think it's going to be important for you guys to take note of what I'm going to say to see if it's going to be worth putting your car on here or just see if it's worth having the idea of starting a business with Turo. I'm going to go ahead and start off with the actual breakdown of my listing on Turo, and is the Kia Telluride 2021 Model S. And here we see some photos of the vehicle. I think photos are extremely important as they're engaging the actual guest on the back end when they're looking at the vehicle. I bought it, put blue leather seats in there. This is just my taste. I didn't know I was going to put it on the platform, but I think it's helped me out as far as getting some attention and having people, look at this car a little bit more than they look at others. So it's a beautiful car. It fits 7 people very comfortably. It definitely stands out. So photos are important to highlight your vehicle. I do have the vehicle at around $105 per day, and on the back end, the consumer will see these photos and will be able to put in their trip start date, trip end date, and their times of pickup, times of delivery. So this is what they will see, and they'll see your reviews. But let's go into the good stuff, and let's go into the actual hosting platform behind the scenes back end, as they call it. So we have the vehicle here, the Kia, and these are the months that I have booked. So I can go and see the calendar format of everything. I can change the rates per day as a month basis, and I can go ahead and see how things are moving right along as I go into further months. Very important to know is the performance metrics of Turo. So we all want to become all-star hosts because we have leverage on being placed on the better positions when it comes to consumer searches. So the response rate is important, acceptance rate, commitment rate, and 5-star ratings along with the actual amount of trips you've completed. I just jumped on this, so I'm pretty new. I am hitting all the metrics except the commitment rate. I did take the car to Miami in late May, and I did get 3 bookings so quickly, and I could not honor them, so I had to cancel. So unfortunately, I need to make this up to be able to be at 95% by the time I hit 10 trips. I'll become an all-star host, which is great. So that's kind of the metrics that you want to keep up with as a good host. Obviously, reviews are extremely important. So far, I booked the car 3 times, 5-star reviews. People leave good comments. That's extremely important, as all you guys know, in the consumer-based demand being all online nowadays. Now, the fun stuff is the actual earnings, and I was extremely shocked to see how well the car performed and how fast I got to where it is at this moment. So we're looking at June. Making 1213, then we have 1191, then we have 1036, then we have 1382, 1362, and now we're booking out as far as November, and December's coming right along. These were the 3 trips that I denied, and I missed out on this money, but that's okay. So let's get these numbers in place, and now we're going to start our cash flow analysis of the full investment. So as a numbers guy, I went ahead and plugged in all my numbers. As you can see, these were the actual earned bookings that are in place from June to October. There's add-ons or additions to the actual booking. I include, child safety seats. I include beach chairs, sports equipment, tennis rackets, whatever you name it. You have fishing poles. Throw them in there as add-ons. People might want to use that. So these are the totals, summing up to 6219. Of course, there's operating costs. So let's start from the beginning. And let's go ahead and look at the actual cost of the vehicle. This car cost me $42,300, and we're going to assume that it was paid cash so we can analyze the full investment as clean as we can to better understand it. $42,300 year to date. It's made me $62,19, as you know here from the numbers I showed you on Turo. And my operating expenses are this table right here: insurance, my actual gas payment. The gas is low because I'm only dropping off the car 2 or 3 times a month, and I'm averaging around $25 to maybe $40 per month. It's a very short drive from here to the airport. The parking passes, it's a little tricky here. Sometimes people are delayed a little bit, and then they have to pay extra for an additional 2 hours of parking. So all these things add up. I don't charge them to the guests because they already pay a fee of $35 for picking it up at the airport. So I sometimes take that hit, averaging around $38. Car washes, I don't take the car through a car wash. I wash it myself to save me some money. Yes, you're gonna have to buy some car wash soap and some scrubs, and everyone has a vacuum nowadays, so do it yourself. These are just the costs that I have. Sometimes tolls, the guests are on the tolls, and I just don't want to go ahead and charge them. And sometimes I get hit with them. So on average, I'm putting $15. So my costs for these 5 months are going to average out to $900. When I outweigh the actual gross income, then I get a net income of, where is this at, of 53.19. So when I divide that by 5 months, I get an average of 1,063 per month, which is pretty good with this car. Now, what I do is we check out the break-even point, which is the cost of the car and the actual monthly income, and we have a break-even point of 39 months, so almost 40 months for this car to break even. Now, the beauty of this is after the 40 months, now I have a vehicle that still holds its value somewhat decently, and it's going to be making me a passive $1,000 per month if the market stays where it's at and the conditions are the same with tourism and with everything just being as fast paced as it is today. Yes, we predict the car to average around 35,000 miles per year, which is a lot, but it is making a good amount of money, so you might have to see the positive on that. As a matter of fact, you can change the actual miles driven per day on Turo. So if you want to stay under a certain limit because you have a luxury car or a higher end car that's, that you want to possibly keep lower miles on, you can adjust that to maybe average 20 miles, 20,000 miles per year. So right here is what we have, and what we want to calculate is the break-even point. So is it worth it to you to buy a vehicle to wait 4 years until it pays itself and starts making money? Or do you have a vehicle where you want it to kind of pay itself off, make you some additional money, and then you can use it X amount of time? Now, the time is the biggest factor because if you make the car available 100% of the month, you're going to get the highest projection, highest occupancy on that rental. So it really comes down to your use and what you want the car for. As a business, we would want to see this type of model come into play, where we have a car that's worth $18,000, where you have a $65 per day charge, averaging 20 days per month, and giving Turo the 70-30 breakout split on the earned commissions. You keep 70, Turo keeps 30. This is adjustable depending on what kind of coverage you want, and that's for another video. But this car itself, saying it's pay cash, will generate you right around 36, 35 in the actual 5 months, as we projected with my vehicle, and then give you an average of 727 per month. Now this car paid itself off in around 2 years, and then now you have a vehicle that's going to generate you some money, and it's going to be all passive as the car is paid off. Now let's say you're going to get a loan on the vehicle, and then you have $250 payment per month. We drag it out for those 5 months. Now your costs come out to $2,150. Your income comes down a bit. Now you're averaging $477, but all you put up was, let's say, $9,000, which was half. Now your break-even point is 37, but you only put in 9,000 to start to have an operating business. Now, is this worth it for you? It really depends. And I would say for you to average the 20 days, you have to make your availability as wide as possible when it comes to your actual calendar. So you want your calendar to be fully available to maximize your bookings and make this make sense. So going back to the Kia, is it worth it for you to buy a car, for you to wait almost 40 months for it to pay itself off and then you can enjoy it? That's a question for yourself to ask. Now, for me, I got this vehicle to just enjoy because I did need a second one on and off for my other job. Put it on the platform, it's doing extremely well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this 1,063 that I'm making per month pay off an additional car. So I'm going to jump onto car number 2 because Turo does give us a bonus of 5% on the split, and it is going to give us a bonus of $2,000 per year if that car generates 10,000 or more. So there's benefits to it. There's ranks to Turo and you having more vehicles. But in my opinion, with the time I've had Turo, I really think that it gives you leverage on being able to have a car pay itself off if you're going to put it on the platform 50% of the time or 40% of the time. So now you have a vehicle that's pretty much almost for free if you had the payments anyway. Or if you're planning to pay the vehicle off all the way, earn your money within 3 years and then have some passive income, it's a long-term project, long-term investment that can work as well. or you want to have a vehicle that you buy at a good price, which could pay itself and help you pay for a luxury vehicle that you want to, give yourself the freedom to buy, then you might offset the cost of being able to buy that nice car you always wanted in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, but not really making any type of money, just having that car offset those two payments. So that's kind of my take on Turo. I think it's an actual fun business if you're in a location in a market that really ties into that fit. Here in Orlando, there's tons of tourism picking up. I'm really close to the airport, and I also needed a secondary car, so this played out perfectly. If you're in that position, go for it. But if you're not, don't get into a huge car loan, because now your actual break-even point is going to go over 4 years, and does that make sense if you're just trying to make money? It doesn't. So hopefully that helped, and until next time.